In this guided breathing practice, we will use the breath to slow down and activate our rest response within our body so that we can experience what it feels like to be in a calm and restful state. With spring approaching, we can feel an inner eagerness to jump in and leave winter long behind. However, easing into the changing of the seasons and slowing down our pace as we transition allows our mind and body to prepare for the upcoming shift. This is true for other transitions we might encounter. Breath and intentional breathing encourages patience and easefulness. We will use 3 variations of breathing that allow us to tap into the part of our nervous system that prompts us to calm down and be easeful. Each variation can be used as a means of activating our relaxed response and softening further into our body and feeling more at ease in our mind. In these 3 variations of intentional breathing, the first breathing style will be diaphragmatic breathing, which is deeper and slower, allowing for greater relaxation. This is our natural state of breathing when we are sleeping. Then we will move to 2 styles of controlled breathing, where we will change the length in which we hold each inhale and exhale. Boxed or squared breathing is measured by equal parts inhale and exhale, while elongated exhale breathing is measured by an elongated exhale with a shorter inhale at the beginning. Each variation has the ability to soothe our nervous system and activate our rest response, allowing us to tap into a calmer and more balanced inner state. As we move through this guided practice, take note of how you feel in your mind and body to see which style might be most supportive to you. They can be used interchangeably depending on your needs in any given moment. Feel welcome to pause the recording at any time or try each style individually in segments so you can get the most out of this practice. The hope is that you will feel more relaxed at the end and identify which variation of breathing works best for you. Begin by finding yourself in a comfortable position. You might choose to be seated or to lie down, as long as you are comfortable and able to be fully present and alert to the practice. You might want to move around a little bit so you can allow your body to feel even more comfortable and settled in. Now beginning to orient yourself to the room around you, gently allowing your gaze to scan the room, slowly, without much force or any quick movements, noticing where you are in this space. And then when you're ready, gently begin to close your eyes if you'd like. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes softly open on a fixed point in front of you. First, start to become aware of the room by noticing sounds, the temperature of the room, or any other subtle sensations you notice outside of your body. Then slowly drifting your awareness towards your body, noticing how your physical body feels on the surface beneath you. You might notice the hardness or softness of the surface beneath you, how your clothes feel on your skin. If you're feeling warm or cold in any part of your body, taking a moment to be with your body. And then slowly moving your attention inwards towards your breath, noticing how your body feels as you breathe. The air flowing in and out of your nostrils, how your abdomen and chest expand and empty with each inhale and exhale, noticing your breathing body. Checking in with your whole body and seeing how you feel here. Noticing any sensations, tension, softness, noticing the whole body. This will give us a baseline as we continue with the practice. First, we'll practice diaphragmatic breathing. In order to do this, we will breathe in through the nose, allowing the diaphragm, the space between your rib cage, your low rib cage, and your belly button to fill in with air like a balloon filling up with air, and then noticing and allowing the breath to travel up into your lungs, expanding your rib cage. And as you exhale, also out through your nose, noticing the cave of the chest come inwards as you exhale the air out of your lungs and your chest, and then out of the diaphragm. So inhaling through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, the belly, into the chest and the lungs, and exhaling out through the chest and the lungs, and then out the diaphragm. And noticing what happens in your body here. So, to get started, first take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling the whole body, and then exhaling everything out through the mouth to release all the air, any leftover tension, relaxing a little bit more into this space. On your next inhale, breathe in through your nose, fill in your diaphragm, filling it up with air like a balloon, allowing the breath to then move, travel upwards into your lungs and your chest, expanding. And as you exhale, letting the chest fall back towards the body, releasing air, as well as the diaphragm, emptying and releasing. Do this 2 more times on your own, inhaling through the nose, filling the diaphragm, the lungs, exhaling out of the nose, emptying the chest, the lungs, and then the diaphragm. 1 more time in through the nose, breathing in, and exhaling everything out through the nose, relaxing, releasing, softening. Now coming back to your natural rhythm of breathing, noticing how you feel, and checking in with your body. Now we will shift into the second variation of breathing, boxed or squared breathing. So for this variation, we will continue the inhales and exhales through and out the nose, still filling up the diaphragm first and moving the breath into the lungs and opening the chest, and then again exhaling out through the lungs and the chest and then the diaphragm. But we will use counting to regulate the breathing in an even pace. So the inhales will be to the count of your choice. We'll hold the inhale, the top of the breath, at the same count, release the air out to the same count, and then hold at the bottom. For practice together, I will count to 4. So, before we begin, take another nice deep inhale through the nose, filling the diaphragm and the chest, and then exhale everything out through the mouth, emptying everything, releasing everything. On your next inhale, breathe in through the diaphragm and then into the lungs to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, holding at the top full of air, 2, 3, 4, exhaling everything out from the chest and then to the diaphragm, 2, 3, 4, and holding empty at the bottom for another count of 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that again, inhaling in through the nose, filling up the diaphragm and then the chest, 2, 3, 4, holding at the top, 2, 3, 4, exhaling everything out, emptying the chest, emptying the diaphragm, 2, 3, 4, and holding at the bottom again, empty, 2, 3, 4. Do this a few more times on your own at your own count. Feel free to change the pace to whatever works for you. Inhaling through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, and then the lungs and chest expand. Holding at the top to the same count. Exhaling everything out, emptying the chest, the lungs, and then the diaphragm to the same count. And then holding at the bottom to the same count. One more time, inhaling through the nose. Holding, exhaling, and holding at the bottom. And on this last exhale, come back to your natural state of breathing, noticing your breath, checking in with your body, perhaps even checking in with your mind for a moment. See how you feel. And now we'll shift into our last and third variation of breathing, elongated exhale breathing. So similar to the boxed or squared breathing, we will use counting to pace our breath, but instead we will breathe in to a count of 3 or 4, and then we will exhale with an elongated exhale, so to the count of 5, 6, or 7. So again, you'll inhale through the nose, filling up the diaphragm and then filling up the lungs and the chest to the count of 3 or 4. No holding at the top, and then just simply exhaling out the chest, the lungs, and then the diaphragm to a count of 5, 6, or 7. No holding at the bottom, just going right back into the next breath. So before we do that, go ahead and take a nice deep inhale in through the nose again, filling up the whole body with air. And then exhale everything out through the mouth, releasing, softening just a little bit more, preparing your body for this next exercise. Now, on an inhale, breathe in through the nose, filling the diaphragm and then the chest and the lungs to the count of 2, 3, or 4. And as you exhale everything out, exhaling, breathing out through the lungs and the chest and emptying out the diaphragm, count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Again, inhaling in through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, then the lungs and chest to the count of 2, 3, or even 4. And then exhaling everything out, emptying the body from the chest and lungs down to the diaphragm, holding until the count of 5, 6, or 7. Doing that 2 more times on your own, inhaling at your own pace, your own count, filling the diaphragm and the lungs and the chest. And then exhaling everything out to a longer exhale count. Doing that again, inhaling through the nose, filling up the diaphragm, the chest, the lungs, and then exhaling everything out, an elongated exhale through the nose, out the nose, emptying the chest, the lungs, and then the diaphragm. And after this next exhale, come back to your natural state of breathing again. And notice how you feel. Check in with yourself. Do you notice anything, perhaps different than when we first checked in at the beginning of the practice? Maybe you need some time to let everything register so you can assess better how the breathing felt for you, the different variations. Now you can slowly start to bring some gentle movement to your fingers and toes, noticing again the sounds of the room around you, the texture and feeling of the surface beneath you, perhaps the temperature of the room, orienting yourself back, shifting back to the space a bit more. And then gradually, when you're ready, beginning to bring a little bit more movement to your body and then opening your eyes when you're ready. And here you are. Welcome back.